In our first story, the central business district of Tema is deserted. The usual hustle and bustle, which would characterize the area, is also missing. Now, most shops are also closed. Just a few commercial vehicles, according to our reporters, are said to be working. Meanwhile, residents are mostly inside their homes or just parading the frontages of their houses. Mamiesi Thompson has been speaking to some drivers and brings us the latest. By Mamiesi Thompson with residents of Tema, as you could also see in that visual. Many of them had said they were taking the precautions, but also had to go to work. And you saw one of the essential or exempted workers there, public health nurse at the markets. There were scanty activities, even though we also had many market women displaying their wares, all interacting with Mamiesi Thompson. We'll get her on the line very soon. Well, apart from Mamiesi Thompson, we also do have Nanaya PSA, who is also in town, somewhere in the capital, trying to monitor the situation. We'll get them all to tell us the latest they are observing. But the 2-week lockdown started at 1 a.m. today. Head of our security desk, Gifty Andoapia, was embedded with police officers implementing the directive and is reporting that some people who got to Ayi Mensa, for example, especially at the toll booth after 1 a.m. were turned back, while others also traveling within the city were warned. I'll have to bring you that package. But before then, let's get to Mamiesi Thompson, who is reporting from Tema about how the lockdown is being undertaken or being monitored. And Mamiesi, what can you tell us so far?
Yes, well, and I'm currently at the Central Business District in Tema, opposite the TMA, and things are moving really slowly here in Tema. If you know Tema very well, you know that this is the heart of business activity, but today there's very, very little activity ongoing. I can see from where I'm standing right now that there are some commercial vehicles that are trying to load, but they are not loading as fast as they could, and there are just a few of them. Also, those that are selling here at the market are not there. Almost all the shops, I wouldn't say all the shops, almost all the shops have been closed. The traders are at home. Even food vendors are not here at the moment. There are a few banks too that have opened, but customers are also piling up in front of the banks. We have an example of the Standard Chartered Bank, where customers are struggling to get into the banking hall because the bankers were trying to control the numbers that come into the banking hall. So far, things are moving very, very slowly here, Roland.
But I know there could be some situations, for example, at the banks, etc. In the communities, how are people observing the lockdown?
Okay, so people are observing it by not coming out as much as we see them in town. I can see that there are some people in town and they are wearing their nose masks. They're trying to keep their distance as much as they can, but it doesn't really look like that is really working, because you see people walking in 2s, in 3s, even 5, and you wonder if the social distancing thing is going to work. people are not really observing the social distancing aspect of the precautions that must be taken. But you could see that most of them outside are in their nose masks, and people are also washing their hands at very little buckets that have been positioned at vantage points to, prevent the spread of the virus. Currently, there's not much activity though. Those that are selling to, not most of them are out. You could see a few vendors, the mobile momo sellers, and then the coconut sellers. You can also see some fruit sellers around, but that's just it for now. There are still people that are crowded in front of the Standard Chartered Bank, as I said earlier. They want to get into the banking hall, but there was initially miscommunication between them and then the bank management. They didn't know that they had to, manage the number of people that had to be at the banking hall at a time. And so when they opened a little later than they usually would, all the customers wanted to, rush into the hall. But then it took the intervention of the police to control the situation and also to calm the customers down. I understand that this branch here, Community 1, is the only one that is open for now. The rest of the branches have been closed, but that cannot be said for all the banks in the area.
The security personnel, what's their role here? Aren't they supposed to have been monitoring the situation?
They are actually. They have been positioned at various places. So there are some that are in front of where we call the casino, where you find most of the taxi drivers, and then the entrance to the main market. We have some too in front of the CMA office, and then a few of them that have been, that are also monitoring the situation, patrolling the areas. So you see them at places where if their attention is needed, they'll have to come. And so that's the situation that happened here. You see the military men too that have been positioned at various places that are also ensuring that people adhere to the directives that have been given. And so far, there hasn't been any major concern that has been raised by these security personnel. So far, so good on the side of the security people, Roland.
Oh, thank you very much. But let's take you to Kumasi, and it's where we have Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah also monitoring the situation since morning. And Emmanuel, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line, Roland.
Yeah, great. Which of the areas have you been to since we spoke to you from Edu?
Aside Dr. Mensa, that's the real central business district. I've been to Egitia, where most of the stores have been closed. Even those who are supposed to sell food, they've all been closed down. And so now I'm at a race course. We heard earlier that prices of farm produce have come down. And so that's why we came around. And in fact, when we came here, the matter is true. And I'm going to speak with one of the women. She sells tomatoes. And good morning. Anyway, I just say, Felix,
fine. They say I have come the planet here. The car will be a man, they said, yeah, about and when I 10 million, 8, 9, box, they said, yeah.
Well, now she says, most used to go for 10, that's 1,000 cities. Now it's 800 and some they sell it for 700 cities. Now, executing they're most one of 5 to 10 cities.
Maybe I saw. And also, yeah, and now they're not going to say your phone or boarding, yes, your man, and that's I answer.
Yes, so with the others also, with the smaller packages, you're having initially going for 10 cities, that has been reduced by about 5 cities. The ones going for 50 cities is now 20 cities. So that's how they are selling here. And let me go to, I have one of the women also here. She sells pepper. She's also going to tell us how the price have reduced since yesterday. With the price, Makui, I said, why in the baby at the price of what manner?
I said, I'm not from them. And now the papa near if I'm not on this million, I find the best year near my destiny, that's the manifestation. And the man I cut, and I'm a cool position, you know, I'm most on your man. And then your money go on.
nti aban wo yɛ mɔbɔ na de akɔ de aba sanfo de ne yɛ di bi bɛ hwɛ nkran yɛ so yɛ ni sika bi ada dem ɛne yɛ kase yɛ tena fi a yɛ bɛ ma nkran na didi eti yɛ srɛ no wo yɛ mɔbɔ yɛ ni kunu ɛne yɛ de so yɛ srɛ na yɛ pana so de gu fam so wo yɛ mɔbɔ.
All right, so well, and as she said yesterday, because we were coming to the market, they raised the price, and now the people are not in the market. They would have to reduce the price, so they are having lots of them here. They are going weak, but they don't know what to do. And so that's what's happening here at the central market. No, at the race course market, price of goods have come down. And now, so the earlier people weren't around as patrons, but now they are coming in their numbers. The whole issue of social distance is almost been debated. So that's what's happening here. It's business as usual, just the prices of goods have come down. Yolanda.
We have something we've written as part of the slacks as we've supered on the screens, and it says shops closed, streets deserted in Accra and Kumasi as movement restriction takes effect. By your experience and observation, would you say that is a picture you're seeing? We really do have movement restrictions? All right. Kwesi? Do I have Kwesi on the line?
I'm here.
Kwesi?
Yeah, good.
Hello, Kwesi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, do we really have movement restrictions based on your experiences and so far what you've observed?
No, I want to.
We're here at the racecourse market, and as you can see, lots of activities here. It's business as usual. It's quite contrastive. Where you go to the real central business district, that's a Doom proper, where you see a bit of just few people moving around. You see security men around the place, military men, they're walking around. But here, there's no security personnel walking around. It's a market full of people. And it's as if it's business as usual. It's like everybody is doing his own business. What we heard, and we came to the market, is the prices of goods have come down. And so you're talking about the tomatoes, you're talking about pepper, the prices have come down. And I have one of the traders here to speak with. Yankasakra, you see, I'm not on board, but I see no work of them. Didn't you see it?
Mepacho, and your cars will be anti-funeral. And to be a say, or Baba market, Abedidra. It's yes, you near me, so you go on, so I dare bet you, yes, I'm for Bahokra, and until you didn't that the share by. Out of 4 days, will be a suru. And yes, more can want some to say, I say, Yamla be a baby tied, Yamaya, and one say it will. Yakofa near mana aboard. They say Yaboka, a cup hard, ya swan near Manaka. And I have a 6 million 5 share, and then make only so make 5 cities. Adiema.
So she says because of the lockdown, many people have not been able to come to the market, and they're having very few people here. And because their goods are perishable, they would have to sell everything before the day ends. So that's what they are doing. They have reduced the prices.
Me pacho enra na meko say otimi ton 150,000. Meko nego on. Meko say 5 cities enra. 5 cities. It's we check here until we overturn the 15 cities. Sir, konko ni try 200,000. And on say we 5 cities.
Okay. It's first number 15 cities, but now it's 5 cities. So she says that was yesterday. This went for 15 cities, but it's now 5 cities. So you're having about 10 cities gone. So me that's a parcel. All right, so let's speak with another woman also, and she sells tomatoes. Yes, ma, where they are? Yeah, hey, yes, more in us about from tomatoes. Yeah, boxy. Sena esite.
Me patcho box say about from. And I told no 10 million. Ebi kura no ni enya bi. Enti ebi kura no na bolo. But ene ukra 8 million, 9 million, 7 million kura ubenya bi. Say enya de auto kula. Yenya de auto ama market number from kranti. Eni ama bia sa aba from.
All right, so she says yesterday that it used to go for 1,000 cities, but now you can get it for 800 Ghana cities and also 700 cities. And you have to get it so we know so now we're nurse and bucket no.
Me patch on na we 100 cities, but na 70 bakura imagine yenya de auto kula ni pani dwomu.
So it's almost the same percentage which has been applied to this one, which is the bucket of this one. It used to go for 100 cities, but now it's 70. You can get it for 80, and if you have a proper bargaining power, you might get it for also 60 Ghana cities. So that's what's happening here. Price of goods have come down, and so we'll be checking at the other places to see how movement is. But as you can see, at the market is business as usual, though the number of people have reduced. But you can see that is going on. As market is business as usual, and people are having their own thing here. Roland.
Well, thank you, Kwesi Deborah in Kumasi, and also observing or reporting the situation for us. Nanaya PSA is in Accra. We'll try and have him online or on stream and get the latest update from him. Nanaya PSA, good morning to you. Where have you visited since the last report from the Central Business District?
Yes, Roland. Since the last report, we have been in part of Tudu, a major retail and trade center of the Central Business District right here in Accra. And as expected, most of the streets are empty as usual. But a peculiar development we noticed here is that the traders are lashing out at government, particularly since after a few minutes after we arrived around 10 a.m. Most of them are complaining that the AMA has been here this morning, and despite their warrant, or in fact their guarantees that they'll be allowed to trade, most of their foodstuff baskets of okra, tomatoes, and pepper have been lifted and taken away by the AMA officials, who are telling them that they must return to do so in the market. The part of here, it seems, is that the market facility itself has been closed down for reasons we are yet to get. We tried to reach the AMA authorities who are on ground, but they didn't speak to us or have not given any official comment yet. So as of now, it's the traders here who are really angry at government, the fact that most of their food stuff have been taken away this morning.
There's a concern looking at how everybody seemed to be walking around. Is that the same situation where we have streets that are filled up with people walking without much ado about nothing?
Indeed, there are scores, and as I speak to you, I can see about two gentlemen crossing the street. Like, they did not look. They are not in business attire. They are in virtually casual attire. You can tell this, as I said, most of them are indigents of the street. They live they are homeless, if you may put it that way. Those numbers I've noticed upon all my rounds, and even as we proceed now into further parts of Tudu, you can see that lots of those people are around. But it would seem the patrol, the security services that are around, do not bother such people. I do not know the directive that's been served to them yet. None of them has commented officially. But it would seem such individuals are left on their own to loiter about peacefully, if you may put it that way.
What about the enforcement of the regulations, Nanaya PSA? Do we have the security agencies, those personnel deployed onto the main streets trying to...
Here at Tudu, there are very, very few security personnel on site. We've gone quite a few miles, and I'm yet to see the security personnel from the last time when we saw any. You would see they are not as visible as we were told in terms of high enforcement rates, even though people are still trying to comply on their own. Security personnel and their presence is very low from observations I've made this morning. Well,
Nanea PSA, thank you for that update. And Anaya PSC is our main reporter on ground, monitoring the situation of the lockdown in the capital. Accra had been to the Central Business District and transitioning to allied communities or close by or adjoining communities.